Hi guys, my name is David and welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would talk about a movie today. This isn't usually what I do. I'm not a movie review based channel. I am a booktuber, so I talk about books. So this is kind of unusual territory for me to talk about. But I wanted to discuss this movie in particular because loads of people in the booktube community were talking about this or are talking about this movie, and I just wanted to make a video saying, look, this is what I personally think, this is my opinions on this movie, whether you should watch it or not watch it. And also I just wanted to dedicate this whole video to my dearly departed friend, Pax Panic, who was a massive fan of the first Beetlejuice movie, and if she was still alive, it wouldn't have taken her much to actually go and see this movie at the cinema, and of course she would have loved it. I remember I bought her a couple of Beetlejuice themed cushions or pillows before her parting, and of course she loved them, and I suppose technically she can say that she is the ghost with the most. When I was thinking about that, I was imagining her with a massive grin on her face, and to me it would be something that she would say even now. So as you can tell, I am going to be discussing Beetlejuice Beetlejuice, or Beetlejuice 2 as people will probably be calling it. Don't worry, I won't be spoiling this movie. I was thinking, well, the best way for me to do a spoiler-free video, and so people who haven't watched the movie that want to go and see it, that haven't had the chance to go and see it yet, can go into it knowing very, very little about it. So I will not be discussing the plot of the movie or what happens in the movie. So the storyline, I won't be saying anything about it. But I will give obviously my overall impression on the storyline and the plot of the second movie. So the first Beetlejuice movie released in 1988. And that's a kind of a big gap between sequels. As far as I can tell from why Tim Burton didn't do a sequel straight away after the first Beetlejuice, which, to be honest, Beetlejuice is a series or a film that doesn't really need a sequel. Yes, it's one of them films which I guess we could have a sequel to get more of the ghost world and more backstory on Beetlejuice, the main character. But it was a movie that was kind of, for a lot of people, a one and done type of thing. It didn't really need a sequel. It would have been nice if we had a sequel, but at the time I think that everyone was kind of satisfied with the movie in general and didn't really like band together and say, right, we actually need Beetlejuice 2 in our lives. I believe that the studio wanted Tim to make a Beetlejuice 2 movie, but he was too busy doing his Batman movies. And to kind of get the studios off his back, he kind of made a joke script saying that Beetlejuice goes to Hawaii and goes on holiday or whatever. So, Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is obviously directed by the same person, Tim Burton. And I was so relieved about when I saw this, because I was thinking, I hope that no one else is directing this movie, because will they be able to get the same kind of feeling for it? And no worries, Tim Burton is directing this movie, or did direct it. It was written also by Alfred Gough, Miles Miller and Seth Grahame-Smith. So the story and the plot as a whole for me was really satisfying. if you are a fan of the first movie, then the plot of this movie, you will be completely satisfied with it. It's the same type of feel, the same essence as the first movie. But it does kind of do some things that keep it nice and fresh. The costumes in it are really good, although one of the kind of new characters, Astrid Dietz, who is played by Jenna Ortega. I'll go through the characters in a minute. Her kind of outfits were kind of, I would say, all over the place, but they were confusing. Once she was wearing all these kind of grungy, emo type of clothing. I suppose that's the best way of describing it. And then through the second half of the movie, she was wearing this kind of Halloween costume, which it kind of was because it was in the movie, and it was kind of like this simple dress. Reminded me about the dance or the ball scene in Wednesday, but the costumes in it are really on point. Some of them are more subdued than others, and some are more outrageous. Beetlejuice's outfit is more or less the same as the first movie. They didn't really change that much. They probably tweaked it here and there, but there's nothing really that makes it stand out. The scenery is really immersive. I like it when they go to the town where the old house is, and it's based in Halloween, so there's all jack-o'-lanterns out and there's all pumpkins everywhere, and everyone's going around in their costumes for the spooky season. So going in to this spooky season of 2024, it's a very atmospheric movie and very appropriate movie to watch during this time of the year. It sort of give me Netflix movie for the Halloween movie type of vibes, if that made any sense. I do not know whether we had any massive scenes from the for the town in the first movie, but I do not know whether Tim didn't really know what to do with the town itself. But it is a good location. It's a standard American town, and we spend a lot of time in the world of the dead. I like how it has all these neon lights. You have all these blues and greens, and the lighting is always on point. It's always dark and moody. And I also like all the people that are that have died and that are waiting to go on to the next thing in their so-called lives. It's very I would say graphic, but it isn't. It's done more in the comedic way. When people die, that's what they are represented in the world of the dead, and the kind of environment in that setting is exactly the same as it was in the first movie. So there really isn't much of a change. The music in this movie is kind of hit and miss. Yes, we do have a somewhat tweaked theme tune to the movie, or the theme song, and we also have Deo, which was also in the first movie. I hope that if they do a third movie, which, come on, they are going to be making a Beetlejuice 3 movie, because you got to say the guy's name 3 times, so there will be a Beetlejuice 3. But I hope when that happens, they don't have Deo in that movie, in the movie soundtrack in that for that third movie, because okay, it's fine, but we don't really need to have it playing in the movie, in the movie. I don't know, but the soundtrack was kind of hit and miss. There wasn't really any memorable songs. No, the actors. Now let's just talk about them. I've made a list of them here, so I'll be going through them one at a time. I just want to say that I won't be spoiling the movie, but for new characters, I will be discussing a little bit about them and how they are represented in the movie and what they do in the movie. But I will do my best to steer clear away from like major spoilers. So Beetlejuice is obviously played by Michael Keaton. I don't really think that they could have got anyone else to do Beetlejuice apart from Michael, as he played obviously the main character in the first movie, so he knows this character, he knows how to play it, and I think that if they give it to another character, to another actor, it wouldn't have worked. So we get more of Beetlejuice's backstory. We find out a bit about his past, which is done in a kind of a black and white old style horror movie, flashback clip or whatever. During this movie, he has a office where he has all these kind of shrunken head people, and I'll go through my favourite character in a minute. And I'm not sure exactly what he's doing there or what's his job or purpose in this office is, but he wants to get back with Lydia, and that's his kind of sole purpose and focus throughout this movie, as he wants to pick up from where we left off from the first movie. So Lydia Dietz is played once again by Winona Ryder. I don't really think that anyone else could have done or portrayed this character better than Winona did. Although it kind of, because she has done other things obviously from the first movie. She was more noticeably in Stranger Things, the TV series. And when I was watching her in this movie, I was kind of thinking, well, she's more or less the same character, but think about Lydia in the first movie and think about the mother figure that she plays in Stranger Things and blend them into one character. That is what Lydia Dietz is in this whole movie. I actually kind of thought that throughout times in this movie that it seemed that her character in Stranger Things was kind of cosplaying as Lydia, as she had the kind of same mannerisms as she did in Stranger Things, like her uncertainty of new things and being scared of stuff that she didn't quite understand, rather than what she was in the movie. She was a socially outcast weirdo. So Lydia is obviously grown up. She has the same hair. She has the same kind of outfits that she has, had in the first movie, and she is a presenter of a paranormal ghost show, and it's never really implied whether it's fake or real, but Lydia has been seeing Beetlejuice around, and she knows that at some point she has to confront him and confront this, what she classifies as Beetlejuice as being a demon. Don't really think that that's the best kind of description for Beetlejuice, but there you go. But she was excellent in this movie, really entertaining. But the highlight for me of this movie has got to be Delia Dietz, who was played by Catherine O'Hara. Apologies if I've said that slightly wrong. Who knew the mum would be the best character for me in this movie? She went all out. Every single scene that she was in, well, pretty much every single scene that she was in, she stole every single scene, or she more or less in this movie. I didn't really think that she was being serious. She was being over the top and over dramatic and overacting, I would say. In this film, she has pursued her art career further. It is, I mean, in the first movie, she was more, I mean, really into sculpting, and we do see her sculptures in the movie and in the background, but her art, we don't really know whether she's pursuing a sculpting or whether she's painting or whether she's photography. We don't really know, or I didn't really get a clear indication about what her art was. More of a obscure, weird art, you know. But she is so good in this movie. She's more of the mum character. Now you may be thinking to yourself, is Mr. Deets in this? And he isn't in this movie, guys. Well, he sort of is and he isn't. Because of what happens with him, he isn't in this movie. IMDb doesn't quote him or credit him in this movie whatsoever, whether it's a physical appearance or a voice over. He's not credited in this movie as far as I can tell. But his character does make an appearance in this movie. I don't really think that this is a spoiler, as it was shown in the trailers. But Mr. Deets has died. I won't say what happened or how he died. If you are very observant and you can see the shape of his tombstone, then you more or less know how he died, but I won't say how in this video. But when his death has been shown in the movie in a flashback, that is the only time in the movie where the footage is stop motion and it's all animated. It kind of takes you out of the movie for a bit, as you're thinking, okay, this is a different style and different look. But don't worry, this is the only time in the movie where this stop motion is being played. But it was the only way that they could have shown this character, because of what happened to this actor in real life. And it was kind of a they couldn't really have I mean, I suppose they could have said that these this couple divorced and just left it at that, and then you know, picture on the on the mantelpiece or whatever. But I suppose that they did it this way to kind of put this character to rest. But in the movie, his character does make an appearance, but we never see his face. It's kind of hard to see his face. I won't say any more. I'll leave it like that. Astrid Deets is our newest character, who is played, as I said, by Jenna Ortega, or Wednesday from the Wednesday Netflix series. She is the daughter of Lydia. Yes, we do find out about what happened to the dad, but it's not really much of a. I mean, he's more of a minor side character. He's not really in the picture anymore. But Astrid is very skeptical about ghosts. She's been brought up all of her life. She's been teased all of her life because her mum's really big into ghosts, and everyone's always making fun of her and teasing her about it. And she has kind of like accepted the fact that, okay, ghosts don't exist, that it's something that is stupid to believe in. And she's kind of a rebel in this film, and at one point she does spend a lot of time in the afterlife. But her character, at first I thought that she was kind of annoying at first. I didn't know how quite to take her character, but as the film progressed, probably about 20 minutes in, I got more used to her character. So next is Rory, played by Justin Fairfax. Probably said that wrong. He is Lydia's lover. Now he's the manager of her ghost show, and they're kind of in a relationship. Rory is a more of a over-the-top, really over-the-top actor and or a character in this film. He's always wanting to try to marry Lydia, There's kind of a sexual thing going on with him and Astrid. I don't think it was intentional, but it was the kind of impression that I got. He's trying to be a good person and, you know, a good lover to Lydia and a good role model, a good role model to Astrid. But he was really, I mean, he was fine. He was just over the top all the time. And some of the times it worked, sometimes it didn't as much. Now the villain, who is called Dolores, who is played by Monica Bellucci, is obviously the zombie character, sort of, really, who is all stitched up. I think that this Halloween everyone's probably going to be cosplaying as her, you know, black dress, white complexion, all stitches all over the body. It's very easy to do. I won't say what her motivations are, but she is absolutely underused in this movie. She should have been in this movie a lot more than what she was. She's very threatening. I would have loved to get maybe twice as much screen time as out of her character as what we did. She was kind of that, like, threat that was in the background when the main storyline was happening. Her character and her presence were actually really good when I got to see them and see her on the screen, and she did her best, but I would have liked to see a bit more about her character. Next we have a character called Wolf Jackson, who is played by William Dafoe. He is a kind of a police sergeant type of character who in the world of the living was an actor. Now he is kind of living out his glory days in the world of the dead and doing poses from his movie posters, and he's trying to find out about what Beetlejuice is doing in this movie. And I mean, I just thought that he was kind of a underutilized character. I would have loved a bit more from him and his character. I think the actor did his best with what he was given. But it was just, whenever I saw this character on the screen, I'm like, okay, we're with this dude now. Next was a character called Jeremy, who Astrid was with for the majority of the film. He was fine. He was more of the kind of love interest for Astrid, and love interest / friends. The standard pretty boy in these horror films. He was okay. I mean, his plot point kind of ended abruptly, and I would have loved a bit more of his character when he was when we eventually didn't get any more of him in the movie. I'm trying to be vague, guys. Please forgive me. So my best character in this movie has got to be Bob, who is played by Nick Kellington. Bob never speaks. He is one of these shrunken head people or men, and he doesn't speak because he's got his mouth sewn up. But his reactions and his eyes and the situations that he's put in or that he finds himself in is so comedic, so charming, and he's the best character in this movie, apart from Beetlejuice. So I was thinking to myself, what would people or kids nowadays make of this movie? I mean, if a teenager had or a kid hadn't seen the first movie and it went in to see this film, not knowing anything about it, what would they think? And I think that, honestly, I think that this movie would go over a lot of kids and teenagers' heads if they didn't know what they were getting themselves into. I think that they would find it somewhat boring and confusing. So if you are wondering whether to take your kids to actually see this film, my personal advice: show them the first movie and see what they honestly think about it. If they really like the film, then go show them this one. But if you, as I said, if you're a fan of the first one, go see this one. I personally really like the film. There were kind of some characters in it which I think that the movie could have got rid of, and it wouldn't have changed that much of, you know, the film in general. There were some songs in this film and some scenes that I think that could have been trimmed down. But overall, it was a great time. It was a great experience. Nothing that it's a film which I could rewatch and I would notice more out of it on numerous rewatches. So I would highly recommend this film, especially during this spooky time of the year. So go watch it, go enjoy it, and when you have, come back and tell me what you thought about it. If you have seen it and you want to talk about it down below in the comments, you're more than welcome to. All I ask is that you try to keep it as spoiler free as you can. If you want to talk about spoilers, then just type in spoilers at the beginning of your comments so people are aware that your comment does contain spoilers. But let me know, what did you think about Beetlejuice Beetlejuice? Really pain in the ass movie to say when you've got a stutter. But let me know, what did you think about the film? Did you like it? Did you not like it? And yeah, thank you for watching, guys. It's gone on for a bit longer now. This has gone on for a bit long now, guys, so I better stop it here. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video.